let's talk about names of God. In the Christian faith, we call God Father, Lord, King of Kings, stuff like that, right? Jesus has his name, but in terms of God, we just say God, Jehovah, right? Yeah, but in Hebrew, you know, he says his name is Yahweh. But actually, Jews don't believe that they should even say his name. And if you even tell one to write it, they will write G-D. They will not write the name, you know, because it's like revering. But anyway, so Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, Yeshua, not Jesus, Yeshua. There is no J in Hebrew, so it's actually Yeshua. But yeah, so you get the point. So we see some names coming there. Allah, right? That just means God, I believe. I don't believe that is a name. I believe it's a title. So God is a title. Lord is a title, right? So think of people back in the days, in the medieval times, Lord, Bishop, whatever, or however that works. You know, those are titles. Those are not names. So God said, call me Yahweh, right? So he's like giving you his name, right? He's giving us his name. So the name is important, and that's kind of what I want to get into today. So if God gives us a name to call him, why don't we call him by his name? In every belief system, there's a name, right? And God has so many names because, you know, it's really the intention that sets it. Even if, you know, we lived thousands of years ago as hunters and gatherers, right? And we saw the sun and we declared that the center of everything, we declared that God. Would God not accept that as him? After we develop the realization that God has a name, then we start to realize that we can develop personal relationships with God, because now we realize that he is the person of all persons, right? We were made part and parcel of him. So he is all that we are not, right? We are just one tiny speck of what he is. So how could we limit God's personality? How could we limit his person, right? So here, a little esoteric. So God's person is a figure, right? Like, because if we are people, we have this body, right? How could we say that God doesn't have a body? If God has made all of these things, how could we say that he is not anything? How can we place our 3D limitations on something that created all? And here we get into different names of God. So God gets different names given the characteristics of that form, right? So Krishna is like, it's like black. He's black, right? And he's got a feminine half. He's a masculine and feminine half, right? I'm not gonna get too into it. And then that's Radha and Krishna. And then you have Krishna as you have Krishna as like Nrsimhadev. Nrsimhadev is just another avatar of God. So God in the Vedas, it's discussed like different stories about God taking different forms and doing different things for his creations, you know. But anyway, I'm also putting in pictures of like maybe some deities in the next one. So if you're really not into seeing it, please don't. I don't mean to offend anybody. Like, I'm just trying to share knowledge, because I remember when I was coming out of a very Judo Christianity mindset and I was going into more Eastern, it was kind of hard for me to look at the pictures of the deities and try to see God's form. That was not easy, you know, but I didn't worry about it. I just focused on what I could grasp. I just focused on so please just focus on what you can grasp, all right? That's like very important.